Hi guys, Tom here, Aria Financial. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Tom. This week's episode is going to focus on owner-occupied interest only. Commonly we'll see an interest only type of product elected for more of an investment purpose. So investment property purchases, shares, that type of thing. However, this particular case study is going to focus on the limited situations where owner-occupied interest only makes sense and actually benefits the client's requirements and objectives. And the case study in particular is the client we had came to us after being referred by a friend. And this client's self-employed, and commonly when we have a client who's self-employed is we'll actually liaise with the accountant. There's usually an accountant involved for self-employed clients, obviously, and sometimes there's a planner as well. In this case, it was just an accountant, and that accountant had set up a specific structure and strategy for that client and how she drew her income out of the business, in that there was no wages during the year, and it was just the annual dividend that client received out of her company. So in that particular situation, the reason the accountant was doing that was more for tax planning reasons. And obviously, the more the client draws out of that company, potentially the more individual income tax is applicable, obviously subject to what the accountant advises. But that was what this particular accountant advised. And so the accountant wanted to keep as much cash, retained earnings, inside that company as possible. It was a lower tax rate in that particular situation. We're able to achieve that by, from a physical repayment perspective, interest only is obviously lower. Cash flow wise, it's lower per month. So instead of paying principal and interest, which would have been a cash flow wise higher repayment, the client just elected for interest only on her owner occupied property, therefore allowing more cash to stay inside the company. And the accountant advised net that it actually ended up better off for that client when considering the tax planning benefits of doing that. And so that's the way that she proceeded. Interest only can be more expensive, particularly when it comes to owner-occupied interest only. So it's important that there is a particular purpose for wanting that. Similar to this particular case study is if a client's receiving maybe an annual bonus and wants to, obviously pay a lump sum of principal on an annual basis. Interest only gives the client the flexibility as to when they pay their principal. Obviously, there's a higher interest rate, and there's therefore a premium to do that. And so there is only limited situations where that is applicable. But in this particular case study, it obviously really benefited the client and her strategy. But it's important to take that premium into account. So that's the case study for this week. And I look forward to chatting to you guys next week. Thanks, guys.